What's going on, everybody? It's Afro Think Tank. Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You know you're the problem, right? You know you're the problem. Let's call all the bullshit out. All right, all your little excuses. All right, let's peel back the onion. Okay, you know you're the problem for everybody, right? Everybody. You're the problem for everybody and everything. You've always been the problem for everybody and everything. Okay? You're the problem for all animals. You're the problem for the environment. You're the problem for human beings. I mean, the common denominator is that you are the problem. You know you're the problem. But since you are you got to find a way to justify your actions, right? And now everybody is starting to let you know that you're the problem. And even though you know you're the problem, you don't know what to do to fix it. I mean, some of y'all kind of figured it out, but most of y'all, your egos and your pride won't allow you to fix it. You can fix it. It's hard. Real hard. But here's the thing, guys. All right? If you don't fix your problem, I'm not sure if you've been paying attention. All right? I know you guys got a little advantage. You think, well, that advantage has not quite really worked out for you. So, because it's still not going well. And at some point, other people are going to fix the problem for you. If you don't want to fix the problem, other people are going to fix the problem for you. If you ain't figured it out, reality and your fantasy don't mesh. No mesh. All right? And you can't bomb your way. You can't steal your way. All right? You can't rape, murder, and pillage your way out of this. Okay? That is not the answer to this situation. I know you guys, all right? And I know you guys think that's the solution to everything. All right? But it's not. That's the problem. You guys keep doing the same thing over and over. Over and over. All right? You got to do something different. All right? Because if you don't, you're crazy. All right? What's the definition of crazy? Doing something over and over and over, thinking you're going to get a different result. All right? Now, you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, and you ain't getting no results that are beneficial to you. All right? We at the point where y'all got, for all argument's sake, still got all the control, yet you don't have any control of it. And you cannot convince anybody that you are righteous, right, or good. Okay? All right, that you're supposed to treat others the way you would like to be treated. Well, how would you like to be treated? Would you like others to treat you the way you treat others? Is that fair game? Because, if that's the case, well, let's continue on, because that's what's going to happen. All right, there's an inevitability coming here, right? There's an inevitability. There's a future that we're going towards that either you can be a part of it, all right, or you can be past tense, all right? And the reason why you guys are on your way to past tense is because of all of your previous actions, okay? And because you think you're more than what you are. What you need to do is stay in your place. You have a place. You need to stay in it. All right? And stop getting in other people's places. All right? Mind your business. Deal with your own life. Lift yourself up from your bootstraps with your own laces. All right? Stop trying to steal everybody else's laces. Stop trying to steal everybody's boots. Stop trying to steal all the ground they're required to walk. Just stop it. All right? But anyway, apparently you guys are going through a little something, which I can't relate, I guess. I can't relate to what you got going on. Your stresses in your life, all right? Because of your thin skin, which means anytime somebody says something about you or criticizes you for the things that you are in fact actually doing, for the things you in fact actually say, you get upset about it. All right? That's why you're the problem. You can't accept responsibility for your own actions. All right? You're not responsible. You get me? You're not responsible. Anyway, without further ado, we're gonna try to dive into this. We trying to help you out. All right, but at some point, we all gonna lose our collective. As a matter of fact, it's a miracle. It's a miracle that us black folk have not lost our patience yet. All right, maybe it's the humanity in us. That's our problem. We're too human. We're too human to our detriment. That's our problem. All right, and I guess that has benefited you because you are still here. Okay. So if you want to continue to still be here, You best get with the program, or the program is gonna get with you. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
This country's immigration problem pales in comparison to the white male problem. If you were to take all of the white male dominance and violence out of the American equation, you would have a country that is far more peaceful than it is right now. If you think that immigration is the United States' biggest problem, you're not paying attention. The white male problem, especially when it comes to violence, especially when it comes to violence to women, is all white men. The numbers are insane. And yet it is the white man who is perpetrating all of the violence in the immigration conversation. ICE is led by white men, predominantly. Donald Trump, an old white man who is determining the consciousness of this country and swaying a lot of younger white men and older white men who were already, predators and in the belief that because of patriarchy, they're entitled to certain luxuries, a certain way of living, a certain quality of life, a certain standard that is completely made up. We took this country by force, by blood. The last thing that we should be doing is preaching about immigration when this is literally a country made of immigrants. And when you see white men trying to sway the political process, try to sway public perception and say that immigration is the problem and that's why we're in this situation, what they're really doing is misdirecting you from the real problem, which is them. I'm a white man. I can speak very clearly to the entitlements that I have had that other people don't have even now. And if we aren't addressing those problems, we are not addressing what is wrong with America. And I'm sorry if you're a white man and you feel like you're being attacked. This country was literally made by white men for white men in the 50s, maybe before that, after World War II. That the model of society we have was made by white men for white men. That needs to change now. That needs to be acknowledged now. That needs to be transformed now, which takes precedence over immigration. Is there an immigration problem in this country? Sure. But let's deal with that after we deal with the bigger problems causing the majority of violence in this country.
Brand spanking new Lexus SUV. How is that possible? Integrate into the same neighborhood that I worked my entire life to get into. I don't understand it.
Why? Oh, yeah. Here's this guy right here in his brand new Lexus.
There he
truck.
is,
there
right
he
there.
Is, right there.
That guy right there, that's a
Look at that
vehicle.
Yeah, that's an immigrant.
That's an immigrant with a $100,000 Lexus.
Yeah.
The good news is, old Couchfucker says that we don't have to apologize for being white anymore. Like that was ever the case. I swear, white men love playing the victim. And I think I figured out why. Because everything is stacked in our favor. Like literally everything is set up, even systemically, to benefit us. There comes with that a pressure to succeed. Like when everything's stacked in your favor and you don't succeed, that sucks because that's all on you. And so in order to cope with the mediocrity of white men, we love to play the fucking victim and act like things are stacked against us when they were not. So it gives us a built-in excuse when we suck.
Conservative white men are deeply unhappy and contributing to their own misery as well as everybody else's. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Kylie, and this is my series on exposing racists. So here we have someone by the name of John. This is his TikTok @ I'm going to drop it because again, he has confessed to being quite racist. He doesn't want to live in areas with people of color. He feels unsafe around large groups of black people and has made it very clear that his stance is firmly MAGA. He believes that there shouldn't be handouts to anyone, and yet in his free time, he likes to Google videos of white women and black men and is attracted to and obsessed with black men. But what struck me the most about this interview is that he really wanted to know Am I a bad person? Is there hope for me in the future? Which points to the fact that these people are deeply sad and they've created a system that not even they themselves can sustain. They are suppressing their sexual desires, and this man even said he wants to dress up as a woman. He feels a lot of shame and sadness in who he is, and it's definitely made me feel a lot more understanding of white supremacy is harmful for everyone, including white people. And that's why there's so many white cucks, and that's why interracial porn is so popular among these people. The way that white men talk about black fathers is 100% projection, and here's why. A lot of white men like to pretend they're so superior to other races and other men, when in reality, a lot of white dads are either drug addicts or alcoholics, physically present but emotionally absent, or such intense workaholics they don't even know their children's birthdays. So really what I see this as a fundamental problem with the way that men are socialized to treat women and children as extensions of themselves, not necessarily as important. And so while the stereotype is that black men will have children and not stick around, the white men who do stick around, because trust me, there are plenty of absentee white fathers, they aren't necessarily caring for their kids' emotional or physical needs. And a physically present dad but emotionally absent one is very, very traumatic for a lot of kids. I mean, just look at the children of a lot of rich parents. They're absolute tyrants, and they themselves are drug addicts because they know in their hearts that their parents do not give a shit about them, especially their dads. And so if you want to talk about daddy issues, then we need to talk about all races that are neglecting their kids, because it's absolutely not just the stereotype of black men, it's for white men too.
I think I'm getting a little closer to understanding why men my age, particularly white men, are so angry and bitter and upset with everyone that doesn't look like them. And women as well, they're upset with women too. And I think all it is, and you get a great insight into the minds of these people when you read the comments that they post on TikTok. And so that's where I get a lot of my, I guess for want of a better word, understanding on how they think. Anyway, what seems to have happened is in the 50s, right, all the guy had to do was be a financial provider. He could go to work, not offer any emotional support or vulnerability or awareness or intelligence, not bring anything emotional into a relationship. His component was purely financial. And that was fine in the 50s. It was great. Well, I don't think it was great, but that particular mindseted person would say that was great. And I think that's what they mean when they say, I'll make America great again. I think it's kind of, that might be a period in time that they did consider great. Anyway, what's happened is women have proven themselves to be just as competent in that area as men, if not more so. So women are now amazing financial providers and well set up financially. A lot of women are, not all, but a lot. And that's unsettling for the average white man with an emotional IQ of a piece of wood. Because those women now no longer need a man to be a provider. It's purely that they would enter into a relationship as an equal, not as, and potentially the guy could be dependent on the woman, which makes me chuckle. Anyway, so what's happening is guys are realizing that they bring fuck all to the table, and they don't offer anything that women can't do for themselves and probably do better. So they're now confronted with this cold, harsh reality of women don't want or need them for that reason, and they're floundering. They don't know what to do. I mean, the answer is very simple. They could evolve and spend some time getting to become emotionally intelligent, perhaps. Maybe get in touch with their feelings. Could be something they might look at. But no, these particular people, these guys, they won't do that. That's too hard. So what they do instead is they blame everyone else, blame women, blame minorities, blame DEI. And that's the other thing, all DEI has done has removed the advantage that they've had for so many years, where they could be a lazy ass, no hoper, nothing going for them except that they're white and they're a man and they're in the club. So they waltz on into a job without ever having proved themselves or even deserving that position. And now they've lost that advantage. And that's the other reason why they're so angry.
I have a message for all of the young white men who may have identified with the theme of the Turning Point Youth Conference, a theme that can really be summarized in one statement.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
See, I'm 2 years older and about a century wiser than JD Vance, and like JD Vance, I'm a straight white married dad who grew up poor in red states. But unlike JD, I got to where I'm at thanks to hard work, luck, and a little bit of privilege. Meanwhile, JD Vance exists to be used as a puppet by billionaires to distract and poison an entire generation with a victim mindset. A mindset Vance now wears even more effortlessly than his cosplay beard and eyeliner. So please listen to me when I tell you this. I need you to be so much braver than this. I can rattle off the statistics about how 80% of Americans work for white CEOs, or how for every dollar of wealth owned by a white family, black families have 23 cents and Hispanic families have 19 cents. But if you're young or poor or both, you might say that those things don't specifically apply to you and you're still struggling. So I am just going to talk to you. Those billionaires don't give a shit about you. And that is why the entire Turning Point USA conference didn't focus on the working class policies that would help you get ahead, but instead focused on making you feel like a victim due to your identity. They need you to think everyone is a threat, so you don't come to the realization that these gaudy spectacles with pyrotechnics and music, where they simultaneously praise you while carefully guiding you to fuse your identity, your religion, your emotions, and your politics, so that if any one of those things is criticized, you reflexively and irrationally defend all of it, leading you to become incapable of separating reality from myth. These tactics are all purposeful forms of manipulation to trick you into believing that they are celebrating you when in fact they are intentionally poisoning you.
Do you know why the white race is dying? Because white women don't like white dudes anymore. Don't get me wrong, it's not because they're particular because they're white. It isn't because the color of their skin. It is because of what the fuck they stand for the majority of the time. White women could have a preference for white men, but they also have a preference for like human decency, equal rights, anti-racism. White women are slowly waking up. And we don't want conservative fucking men. And unfortunately, most white men, especially in the South, are conservative. So, white men, if you guys are so adamant about the white race not dying, personally for me, I cannot wait until there's not one single fucking pure white person in the world so then when fucking racism can end. But if you want white women to like you, how about stop being a racist, bigoted fucking prick and voting for people that are? There's my hot take of the day. Okay, bye.
Things that white men are actually becoming somewhat self-aware. If you didn't see my video yesterday, I made a video talking about how white men love interracial porn. And they literally have a fantasy of white women and black men sleeping together and them getting to watch because most of them are cucks. And this has been a very unfortunate part of starting my content creation journey is all these white men just in my DMs confessing their sexual preferences to me. Specifically the racist ones. They're literally bearing their soul to me in their DMs. Like this one guy, and he said, hey, this describes me to a T. That's actually insane. And he has realized that he probably is racist and that a lot of his sexual preferences are rooted in this power dynamic that is built around white supremacy and racism. They like to see the subversion in the bedroom where white men aren't actually on top because probably a lot of their racist behavior is rooted in them being small, feeling small, and generally just not being able to satisfy women. I've said this once and I will say it over and over again. No man that is having great, amazing, fulfilling sex, and that's getting a lot of women and who is a good person is going to be a racist piece of shit. Like, they're just not. So men like this, fucking loser, are absolutely compensating.
If you're someone who's trying to understand why so many white men come out of their family structures, their family system, or enter into adult life and adult society completely fucked up, I'm going to give you a brief glimpse into what it's like to be a white man who was raised in a middle class to upper middle class white family in America. I was having a conversation with my mom earlier, and the conversation was about, politics and current events and all that stuff. But whenever I encroach on the topic of being intolerant to the intolerant and in this specific situation, always questioning, her and my dad and other members of my family. Why do you tolerate people who are, not just openly conservative, but have openly bigoted views? Like, why do you tolerate them? Why do you still consider them to be people worthy of friendship or community? Because objectively, those people are the major contributing factor to the current geopolitical situation we are in. Especially when it comes to the targeted militant harassment and violence being set upon by marginalized groups. And it's usually at this point where they try to just deflect, deny, or de-escalate a situation that's really not even escalated at all, right? But it makes them uncomfortable, so they think that it is an escalated conversation. And when I try to keep the conversation on topic, or I, assert myself because they start to misrepresent, straight up take out of context, or just straight up lie about what I had said previously in the conversation, they take that as being rude or talking down to them. And when I continue to assert myself and set a boundary and state that, I'm not going to let you gaslight me about my positions or what I have literally said in this conversation or in the past, her response specifically is to say, well, I hope you enjoy having an incredibly lonely life. And this is a woman, mind you, who is a social worker, who is a counselor and a licensed school psychologist. That's the kind of response that she chooses to take. And this is also an individual who knows very clearly and very specifically the lack of enthusiasm for life that I have. Because I don't know how else to state that at times I don't wish to be here anymore. And I don't mean here living in my parents' basement at 36 years old. I mean here on this plane of existence. And that is the kind of dialogue and interaction that I have had with my family, specifically my parents, as long as I can possibly remember. And this is not a post to dismiss or explain away the atrocious behavior that white men have enacted upon, pretty much everybody else, including each other in society historically, not at all, but just to slowly open the can of worms, if you will, into the malicious social conditioning that we are subject to by our own familial structures, outside of the outright indoctrination that our education system and a variety of other institutions maliciously form our view of society.
Fuck them again. Fuck them. Them and you is not friend. Fuck them. Them no need to be in your life. So why you making them cause you nothing but trouble and strife? Fuck them.
The texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Free Sudan. Boycott diamonds and gold. Free Sudan. Boycott diamonds and gold. We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.